They say Svalbard is the place where no one can die because bodies never decompose in the ice. But what they don't tell you is that in that absolute silence, the mountain itself feels alive. My name is Erik, and in 2017 I took an engineering contract at the Global Seed Vault. What drew me in was the promise of isolation. What terrified me was discovering I wasn't as isolated as I thought. The structure is a concrete tunnel plunging 400 feet into the rock. My routine was checking permafrost levels and ventilation. But in the third week, the vibration sensors picked up something. They weren't seismic tremors. They were patterns. 3 short taps, 1 long, coming from beneath the deepest seed shelves. As if something was trying to communicate through the stone. There are millions of seeds in there. But that one box, it had no barcode, no country flag. The thermal sensor read 35 degrees Fahrenheit in an environment that should be 0. When I touched the metal, I didn't feel cold. I felt a throb, like a slow beating heart. That's when I realized the seeds were just a cover. The vault was built to camouflage the heat of something the world isn't supposed to know exists. In 2017, global media reported the flooding of the vault's entrance. They blamed record heat, but I was inside. The water coming from the tunnel was boiling. The ice wasn't melting because of the sun. It was being vaporized by a subterranean energy source sensors couldn't map. Security cameras caught shadows moving in the steam. Shadows that weren't human. Behind a technical partition, I found Sector 0. There were no seeds there. Only cylinders made of an unknown alloy. Inside one of them, through a small glass hatch, I saw something that looked like a root but moved like a tentacle. It wasn't preserved, it was growing. The vault isn't a seed bank, it's an incubator. We are keeping something alive until Earth's atmosphere changes enough for it to breathe out there. I found the diary of the engineer who worked there in the 80s. He wrote, "The seeds are the sacrifice. When they sprout on their own, we'll know the garden's owner has awakened." He didn't go crazy from the cold. He discovered humanity is just tending the food for an entity buried under the Arctic for millennia. Global warming isn't an accident. It's the forced awakening of a greenhouse that should never have been turned on. I didn't wait for my contract to end. I took the first cargo flight off that island. The security officer looked at me like he knew what I saw. He said, "The ice forgets, Erik. You should too." But I don't forget. Every time I see the sea level rise, I know the pressure inside that mountain is building. The vault is about to open, and it won't be to save us. Today the government says the vault is secure. But why did they double the military guard at the entrance? Why do new unidentified boxes arrive every week? If you felt the throb I felt, you wouldn't sleep soundly. What do you think is down there? Comment below and subscribe so you don't miss the next story. Good night, and stay away from the ice.